muted on the computer. So bear with me, everyone. Test out and make sure that we are to see ourselves there on LinkedIn. So we'll check LinkedIn live there. We'll check Facebook and make sure that we are live there as well. So let us minutes to sync up and unfold. Okay, live on LinkedIn. So feel free to check us out there under Stanley Green, under Stanley H. Green, and let us see there. And I see it. We are live there and on YouTube. We'll check for YouTube under PowerThinking. So go to PowerThinking on the YouTube. We'll switch accounts, go to PowerThinking. Check out whether we are in fact live. And we are live on PowerThinking as well. So we are there on all three platforms. Really happy that you are bearing with us on that. And before we get started, again, I want to give a plug for you now, as of yesterday, you're able to take our assessment. So we'll talk about these 5 big negative emotions: anger, guilt, sadness, embarrassment, anxiety, and emotional ability to stay calm under pressure. So how are you doing there? For some of us, it's been maybe you've taken it a couple of years ago and have not taken it at all. Through the app, it's very, very convenient. You'd go to our menu where you see account and history and card information, and you'll see, and you can simply click that and have access to the substance. Now, instead of going through 56 questions, it goes by category, it goes by inner strength. So you just click emotion regulation, and you can take 8 questions, answer 8 questions, and you're done. But you want to finish that before midnight. Wherever you are in the day taking it, you want to finish it before midnight because it then resets. And then take it 6 months later to see how you compare. Right at the end of each of those categories, you'll get your rating. Are you above average, below average? Are you average in emotion regulation? When you finish the entire 7 inner strengths and see where you will actually get a bar chart that shows, where you are on each of the 7 inner strengths. So really cool stuff. Take it and then message me or email me and let me know how you did, having you do it a few months later. Welcome everyone to our Power Thinking Mind Training. Let's go into our Q&A mode so that you can hit the *6 at any time. This is our Wednesday, 8/13/2025 edition, middle of August already. We're going into the home stretch for the year, and I'm happy that you are capturing this time and making sure that you spend the 30 minutes to just kind of reinforce the things that really make a difference in our lives. So appreciate you for doing that. Of course, this is our 7:30 a.m. edition. I'm your moderator, and we are so happy to see you. We see James. We'll bring his comment up on the screen. Great topic to cover, James Kunkel. Thank you for joining us, as well as every single person who was with us on joining us from any part of the world on Facebook, and comment on Facebook. I want to see if the comments show up here on our kind of master. The beauty of this is going back over 26. I started a news channel, and that started, there were trucks, microwave trucks. We had studios, a master studio in Delaware, and then we had studios in Harrisburg. We had a studio in South Jersey. We had a studio in Bucks County. We had a studio in Delaware County. It was a massive operation. We had anchors, and each of those we had reporters. And here it is with technology now. You go across multiple platforms, reach globally. Now we used Mark Cuban's, the company that made him rich, broadcast.com. We were using that. We only paid about $150 a month, and we were able in 1999 have our newscasts available on the internet worldwide. So it was really, really cool. And here we are, 2025, with amazing technology, and we want to leverage it. We are on Facebook live, and we are on YouTube. YouTube is PowerThinking Corp. That's our YouTube channel, and then Stanley Green for LinkedIn, and Stanley H. Green on Facebook. So feel free to watch us there. And of course, our base is right there on our free conference call app. So hit that *6, and love to hear from you today as we help you to retrain your brain. Adversity hits, you are ready. Have a set of skills to fall back on. You are getting stronger in these evidence-based 7 areas, and you are ready to handle that life throws at you. That is our goal every week, to remind you of the power that every one of us has to, overcome adversity. So again, you for being with us consistently. Many of you for now 7 years. This month it'll be about 7 years. So we focus today on our power thinking resilience skill number 6, which is calming and focusing. And we want to focus that we shared a video called Calming Belly Blowing Candles, which is overly simplistic. It's for kids. However, we were kids, and what I try to do with power thinking about power, the power is in the simplicity, in keeping things simple, not coming up with all the complex psychological terms, but keeping things simple so that, whatever life throws at you, you have a simple skill or a process to go through. The framework is straightforward, and we're just happy that we have this opportunity every week. So what I want you to do is make sure that you take advantage as we get started here of our 30-day free trial on the Power Thinking Corp. It's Power Thinking CORP app, available on Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can actually go and select the $19.99 called entry level. You'll have Chat GPT available to you. You'll be able to refer people. You refer 4 people, and you're going to get roughly $5 per, and you'll be able to take advantage of that and generate income. Now, just implemented yesterday our assessment, our power thinking assessment. It is an evidence-based assessment. We've had it for years. We had it on paper where people can download it from the website, but now it's incorporated into the app. Message me with any questions or any problems you experience. On one of our 5 big negative emotions, anger. The question is, number 1, what did you think about that simplistic video? Um, any situations, and, if you're a human being, you've had situations where you have been angry. Anything recently, or it could be some memorable where you may have been angry for reason at all. Love to you to hit that star 6 and let us know about that. We'd love to hear your thoughts about the experience that you had with anger. Is all this rooted? We acquired, by the way, it was 14 years ago. Yes, 14 years ago uh, on Tuesday, where we made in July of 2011, we formed Power, and in August, PowerThinking to acquire a company, Reflective Learning, and Reflective Learning had intellectual property rights to the positive psychology, University of Pennsylvania's positive psychology. And so we were really, really happy and proud to have that opportunity. Give me a second. We have Olu from Nigeria, and he had a question. Okay, we see that, and and so we made that acquisition, and because the price was super high, and we were able to negotiate a win-win deal, and then the process started. We inherited a 6-hour online course, Strengths and 7 Skills. It was very well done, but we didn't get the kind of traction, and we just kept pivoting and pivoting, and still finding ways to get better at and really letting them know. So Dr. Seligman, Martin Seligman, you can Google. He was the person that led the Psychology Center at Penn and signed the initial agreements to commercialize this, and he came up with a groundbreaking discovery back in the late 60s, and was all around what's called learned helplessness. That it wasn't just about people's backgrounds and so what they experienced. If they had been through traumatic events in their lives, but had this consistent failure to succeed, then they were at risk of falling into this state of helplessness, where even though there's a way out and there was a way to move forward, they just did not believe that it applied to them. They did not believe that they could do it. And this was a tremendous discovery. And people can learn to be helpless. Can they learn to get out of it? Can they learn to be more optimistic, to be resilient? And they found that yes. And they identified, after decades of research, 7 strengths that resilient people have. At a very, very, through our PowerThinking Corp app and your 30-day free trial, you'll have access where these inner strengths, you can actually get a sense for where you are. So the first is emotion regulation, and that's the ability to stay calm under pressure. So as on today, anger is one of the 5 emotions that obviously keep us from staying calm and moving through situations, getting stuck, and not ultimately becoming depressed. So there's then impulse. The first thing that comes to mind, their ability to understand another person's experiences, and their self-efficacy. And that is the belief that you have control over your ability to succeed. regardless of what's going on politically, the political you are economically, ultimately you still have the power, if you believe it, um, to succeed. It may take longer than you'd like, but you can do it. Next is optimism. All things will ultimately have a successful outcome. Then there's causal analysis, the systematic way of drilling down to the root situation or problem. And then finally, reaching out is a power. It is a strength. It's not a weakness. Taking that initiative. Jeff Bezos talked about if you're stressed, just simply connect people. Take action when faced with a setback or a challenge. Have skills that you can actually practice, and through the actions function on a daily basis, we're sending you a positive thought today, reinforcement of our 7 skills or inner strengths, uh, and we'll have short videos on a Saturday. We'll share our financial success tips, Saturday, but the goal is to reinforce these skills as we do each Wednesday. You'll be getting that each day through the app. The skills, and many of them psychologists, are learning the ABCs, avoiding thinking traps, detecting iceberg, deep-rooted beliefs, putting things in their proper perspective, calming and focusing, and then as we do all that, we can actually in real time. This is all about. So we want to zero in as we focus on one of those 5 big negative emotions, anger, belief that somebody violated your rights. We have others, 4 others. Guilt, the belief that you violated someone else's rights. A loved one, loss of a contract, loss of an account. There's 4 in loss of standing in a group. And then there's anxiety, the fear of a future threat. That you can take on LinkedIn, go to Stanley Green, look at my post, and you'll see a poll that was created a few days ago where we asked, what in your experience, what is the negative emotion that you've observed from people most often? And we had choices. We had sadness, we had guilt, we had anger, and we had anxiety. And so take that poll and you'll see what people felt. But we focus today on anger. It's one of the 5 big negative emotions, and that's this belief that somehow violate thoughts about anger. I see Greg Jones up. Anyone else, feel free to hit that *6 if you are in the free conference call, or if you have a comment that you'd like to make on LinkedIn or a question, feel free to do that as well. Greg Jones, before we move further, because I want to share a story with you. Something just happened on Sunday. And here, I missed it, but I got a little angry. So stay tuned for that. I'll tell you what I did. And I had to think about it for a second, but we did it and pulled it off. Greg Jones, thanks for joining us, Mitch. And your thoughts about our focus for today, for anger, and how we calm ourselves down to reach that anger or eliminate it altogether. Welcome.
PowerThinking family, and it's a significant topic right now. Anger, we see a lot of it going around the country. Anger. I think challenges. Well, the Bible says be slow. So that's a you want to regulate as quickly as possible how to manage anger, because it can really take you to places, have you end up in places you really don't want to end up in. And I'm finding, especially on my mentoring, with a lot of people who are angry, I mean, 10-year-old, and probably don't have the maturity or the skill set right now to really know how to manage that, or control that, or even why you're angry at all. Sometimes I'm talking to my granddaughter, she just turned 9 yesterday, and she tells me she's angry. I'm like, you haven't really had any life experience. And mine to be angry, to be legitimately angry, you get a lot of things that you probably don't deserve, but you're blessed. But it's still, we're in a climate now from the very, very top, the leadership in this country, all the way trickling all the way down, this anger, this frustration, this disillusion. The management of that is critical, because you can one act, one decision that is driven by anger. It's life.
Hmm.
There are a lot of unfortunate, a lot of men and women, different denominations, but of color, I'll say that, who are in places right now they don't want to be, because they weren't able to control anger in the moment. And that is our ability or inability to peacefully resolve arguments or conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
So grabbing a weapon, or is it anger control or anger management? That's lacking. Just want to give some food for thought to the group today. The importance of really recognizing quickly when you get angry, and then what the next steps are to kind of get it under control quickly before you hurt yourself or someone else.
Yes.
And do something that you can't get that.
Great. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. Very well said. I mean, what is absolutely amazing, it seems that at times you kind of wonder, anger seems to fuel money making, especially in the media, especially in social media. All the platforms have algorithms, and about something going viral, most of it is not good for good. It's typically something negative, some big fight, somebody's at a fast food, words exchanged, and then somebody goes over the counter. And there was something I read last week where the employee poured hot oil on the customer, burning the customer. Now you get two people hurt, certainly the customer, but certainly the employee as well, and the families on both sides. It is unbelievable when you think about it. And guess what? For a news outlet, say, "Oh boy, this is great. You're going to get a lot of eyeballs," and certainly they did. We're going to get a lot of comments, and for social media platforms, oh great, let's move this. Platforms have the ability to get whatever you put there, exposure. And they have, as you know, what's called algorithms that determine, what criteria they're going to set for getting that exposure. And it's usually something bad, because we all are curious about that kind of thing. So let me share with you, and anyone else, feel free to hit that *6. Any thought, anger when it comes to what is going on, politically in the United States with the new administration, and folks get, some people get angry about change, any kind of change, because again, the definition of anger, quite simply, is this belief. I mean, we'd all like a nice, smooth life, no drama. But the reality is there will be, and we're of ways about it, and typically it's anger. And I had a situation just a few days ago. It was Sunday, and my grandson was coming in, he's turning 15 next week, and he's coming in to stay with his grandmom and granddad, and we certainly excited about that. And I was to pick him up at the airport, and he flew unaccompanied, and my daughter, by the way, was flying under, back and forth when she was 7 years old, and so now it's a more involved process. So I had to give them my information, and at the ticket counter, get a special boarding pass. I had to go through to gate, of course, security. So, my first stop, where someone, before you go into the scanner, the person checks your board ID. My first stop, the the TSA agent asked if she could take a picture, and I thought, going into buildings, or hey, we'll take your picture, and so I didn't think much of it. And then she'd ask me again, "Do you want?" I said, "Well, yeah, I don't have a problem." She said, "Well, you seem like you didn't want it." I'm thinking, "No, I have no problem getting a picture taken." So she took the picture. She said, "Because if you don't want it, we could do something else." And I was like, "What was this all about?" So I got the picture taken, and I moved on, and hit the scanner, and they, of course, they say, "Okay, can you step aside?" So I was picked for extra screening. This is screening. I've gone through these hundreds and hundreds of times. This extra screening was extra screening. So I don't know if it's something about me where they had to do. They say, "Here's what the scanner discovered on you." So I had to pat down and talk about the belief that someone violates rights. That's the way I felt, angry, because I'm looking around. I didn't see anybody else getting this, and so I felt trapped. Aaron Beck, the father of one of the fathers of cognitive behavioral therapy, to remember our brain processing these 50,000 thoughts a day. 70 to 80% of these thoughts are negative. Certainly, I had some negative thoughts, and I jumped to, there's jumping to conclusions, there's personalizing too much, there's externalizing, where you can get angry as a result. There's positive, there's magnifying, and certainly I magnified the negative. What somebody else is thinking. They pick me because, maybe is it ethnicity? Is it age? Who knows? Overgeneralizing. There's overgeneralizing. Are likely to have there's tunnel vision, and there's emotional reasoning. So so it had to be something. Somebody had to do something to me. So it's all justifying. Hey, my rights were violated. So I jumped to conclusions without any evidence that they did something to, select me, which was probably not right. And I externalized, I blamed them, find what I thought was a negative situations. All of these things can happen in microseconds. And that's why having these sessions is important, so that we are aware. Remember those, learning the ABCs, avoiding thinking traps, detecting icebergs, challenging beliefs, putting it in perspective. Verse 3, learning the ABCs, avoiding thinking traps, detecting icebergs, are awareness skills. So was mentioning, the first step for us is aware, right, of what's going on, being aware of our what we're feeling, um, aware of the thoughts that are going through our head. And so that's that skill number 2. What I did to turn that around is the kind of thing we work at. So after it was relatively brief experience with anger, with the emotion of anger, do was go back to our skill 6, resilience skill number 6, which is focusing. So when we are experiencing, the first thing we want to do is get remember our emotion regulation, that strength of resilience is being able to stay calm under pressure, which significantly don't do, and things escalate. So I had to calm myself down. And so I tell you, you take away nothing else from this session. It is about going to your breathing. And we shared a video that was meant for children. And there was so many of them. There was box breathing. There was all kinds of, complex breathing techniques. And I wanted to keep it simple. And I went to the kids video because it is simply inhaling. You can hold your stomach. You feel your stomach as you're inhaling. And then 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out, and then finish with blowing the candle. And I did that probably about 5 times. It's amazing the significant change my emotion. I was able to decrease the level of negative emotion very significantly. The challenge, what was going on in my head, these thoughts, about jumping to conclusions. Well, let's not jump to a conclusion. There was probably a sound reason for this, completely random. Don't worry about it. And I got to the gate, saw my grandson, everything, and we moved on. So, in that anger, the first thing we want to do, breathing techniques, to take those deep breaths, inhale 6 seconds, and start going through, what are you thinking? Are you perhaps some of those thinking traps? It is important to reinforce that. Think about it during the course of the day. Anything that may have triggered any anger, you come on LinkedIn, and we'll be on Instagram Live and tonight, and we made TikTok Live as well. So thanks everybody for joining us, and remember, since we spend all of our 1,000 thoughts a day, we must think with power and utilize power thinking. All right, so thank you very much, Mary Bell and Ray Monroe, Farrell Dove. Farrell, great stuff on TikTok. Have a great day, everybody. Gloria and Birdie, Layla and Janice and Joy and Regina. Thank you all for being with us. Sorry, can't get to everybody. Make it a wonderful day. Take care. Goodbye.